Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Kim here, and today is an episode of Thrifty Canucks, and it might still even be Thursday by the time you get to watch this. So it is August 31st, Thursday, 2023, just in case you're watching this in a couple years from now. Wouldn't that be cool? My company from Manitoba has left today temporarily. They are now headed to the other eastern provinces, the Maritimes. They're going to Nova Scotia. In fact, they are in Nova Scotia already today. They left this morning. And then they're headed to Newfoundland, and they're going to be doing some touring of Newfoundland from one end to the other. And they're going to do the Cabot Trail in Nova Scotia, the whole Cape Breton Island. So they will come back later in September, probably maybe towards the end of September, and they will spend some time with us then. So I had a lovely week with them, and it goes by so fast. Lori and I thought we were going to have so much time to do some creativeness together, but we didn't have any time. They arrived on Friday, and on Saturday I quickly took her through my local town, and we were able to go to a couple of thrift shops. Some of them aren't open on Saturdays. But we were able to go to a couple, and I do have a little thrift haul that I hauled with Lori. But Lori's a little shy. She said she'll just stand on the sidelines when I'm doing that video, and I can show this stuff. But we'll get her hands in there one way or another. But for today's video, this is just some of the stuff that I have been picking up along the way. I thought I was going to have time to do a video, but I didn't, so I'm catching up now. But yeah, they arrived last Friday. We had a nice dinner together. Saturday we went thrifting, and then we went to Hopewell Cape, where we got to the Hopewell Caves and rocks. Such a beautiful area. And then we went camping for a couple of days, and we went down to St. Martin's, and I did show a couple of pictures. If you follow me on Facebook, you would have been able to see them. But, it's my personal life and their personal life, so I try to keep things a little bit private. But we had an awesome, awesome good time. So, big pouty lip when they left this morning. But I know they're going on to new adventures and more fun, and we will get to see them again later this year, or later this summer. And so Tom went to work today. I went up the hill and picked berries because we still have lots of blackberries to pick, so I'll be picking again tomorrow. And then managed to find time to do some laundry and get in here and do my Thrifty Canucks video. So let's get started. I just thought I'd give you a little update there of what's going on. And so my first stack of stuff to show you is some books. Now this Anne Boleyn by Nora Lofts, this is my second copy of this book, and I'm really glad because the pictures are so beautiful in here. Like even the end papers are gorgeous. But there's some beautiful black and whites. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but some gorgeous colored images as well. And the sad part about this is that a lot of times there's a beautiful image on the other side. So having two copies now lets me decide which ones. Isn't this beautiful? The one in the red dress is just gorgeous. It allows me the opportunity to choose which ones I want to use, and then when I get to the second book, I can use the opposite if I want. Lots of black and whites, but I enjoy using those for making envelopes and all kinds of things, or the policy envelopes or regular envelopes. But the colored images are just beautiful, and there are lots. I'm just not hitting them just yet. There's lots of ship pictures, maps, that guy. I'm not going to look at who he is, but and some interesting images that can be used. Where's the colored ones? Isn't that pretty? They're playing the flute, and she's got music there. Well, they're all playing music. But yeah, there are more colored. I'm just not hitting them yet. And here's some old music sheets. The cardinal. Just lovely colored images. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So yeah, I'm really pleased to have a second copy of this and be able to take it all apart. Now, this was at one of my local thrift shops. This one I paid $1 for. This next one is a science book. It's in French, but it's all on the ocean. And I just loved the colored images in here. I'm not going to go into it. It's a children's book, but there are some beautiful colored images in here that I thought I would be able to use in a sea journal. You know, where they've got this writing here, it takes away from the picture a little bit, and it is a more modern look. So I think what I would probably do is, you know, put a picture of maybe a ship on there or some mermaids or something, and just use this kind of as a method of framing the image so that I don't lose the sheet. But on the other side, I have just as equally a nice page. So these can be slipped into journals as journal pages. And again, it's easy to cover that and reuse it as a frame, sort of, just to frame the image that you're putting in there. It has a slight sheen to it, but not like not glossy. So it's very nice paper and will look really sharp in a journal. Isn't this gorgeous? Wow. So yeah, I'll have fun using this. Again, I think this was a children's book in the same store, so I think I paid 50 cents for this. And it's kind of a, you know, it's like a magazine almost, but nice pictures. Another children's book. This one was again at the same thrift shop, so I think hardcover children's books are 50 cents. So I might have paid 25 cents for that fish one or for the ocean one. This is just a nice size book. It's 9 inches by probably about 12, looks like. Yeah, it looks like it's about 12 inches. So this is just perfect for making envelopes, but there are some beautiful lithographs in here in full color. So there's some really nice images that can be cut out. I'm hoping you can see these all, yeah. And there's some mythical characters, angels. This is a pretty picture. Angels with, looks like little elves or fairy elves. Very nice, soft pastel colors. And then the large print is nice too. And because it's a children's book, you know it's safe, that you don't have to worry about what's in it if you're using a page as a background on something and collaging around it. So this is always fun to have these colored images, but it's also fun to have this large size paper that you don't have to read every single thing to make sure that it's okay to use. Isn't that a beautiful picture? So yeah, that was another children's book. Now this one I got at Value Village, and it must have come from the children's section, because usually hardcover books at Value Village are $5.99. But excuse me, surprise, I paid $1.79 for it and then got my 30% off as well. Don't ask me to calculate that one. Excuse me, one moment. Back again. Sorry, I don't know what happened there, but I got this tickle in my throat and had this massive coughing spell. Anyway, so this book was $1.79. It's The Story of Costume. And this is really cool because it starts off... well, that's just kind of a different eras there. But then it goes from 2000 to 1200 BC. So it has sort of this Egyptian look to it. And this you'd have to kind of use as a whole picture, or just cut out one or two if you could. But then they get a little bit more separated as you go along. So this is 1200 to 500 BC, 500 to 1000 after the Romans, and they're more separated, so you can really see their costumes clear. And what fun images to use in tags or journal cards. Very easy to add in, and the colors are so vibrant, and some of the costumes are just beautiful. I love this. I'm looking at red dresses now all of a sudden. Love this one here, medieval, Renaissance. Yeah, and it just goes from one era to the next. You know, I'm not going to flip every page. Another beautiful red dress. Just gorgeous, gorgeous costumes. So keep your eye out for this one. Like I said, I think it was in the children's section, because I can't imagine why it would be that inexpensive otherwise. And just beautiful, beautiful time periods. Like, look at this French lady. So she's kind of the, can't think of what it is, Pride and Prejudice look, 1800 to 1820, Industrial Revolution, French Revolution. Just beautiful images. So this, I think, is my favorite of all the books this time around. And then you get into the 40s and 50s. And yeah, 1985 to present day modern times. Yeah, I think some of these were my own clothes. And then they have them in miniatures like this. So this would be a fun border strip on a page, or, you know, kind of like, you could use it as a belly band, or cut it into pieces and make pockets. I just thought it was just a fun little book. And of course, you know, you get the end pages, and the book itself, I don't know, the book itself has pictures on it too. So just fun all around collection. For $1.79, absolutely, right? So I'm going to quickly go through the jewelry, because you know I always get way too much jewelry. This was over a couple of visits to the thrift shop, because I did let this pile up. But they must have got somebody's jewelry collection. This is all white faceted beads. They are acrylic, but there's lots of them. So this is all beads for harvest. This one here, multi-chains and lots of big globby beads. While I might consider using them for my journals, I'm more likely to use them for my window dressings. And yes, that video will be coming soon. I'm in the mood to be working on some of that. Never got my curtains finished yet, Thelma. You have to come for another visit for me to finish. This one was fun. It's lots of chains and big globby gold beads, but these can all be harvested to add into other journals. There's a lot of spacer beads on here and bead caps. So fun to take this apart. Soft pastel colors, but they are acrylic beads. There's some clear ones here, as well as the sort of opaque, a little, not quite opaque, but they're a little frosted looking, but lots of fun beads here to take apart to harvest. A little bit more glitter in this one. It's got some good, beautiful antique glass crystals on here. I know, I'm sure Thelma's drooling over this one. Bet you like this one. And there's also, it looks like some type of a stone beads. And again, this makes me sure that this must have come from somebody's jewelry collection, and they were clearing it out, because there was a lot of it in a short, I think most of it I got in one time, and then the rest I got at a second one. This is iridescent beads, and yeah, these ones don't smell, but if ever you're working with iridescent beads and you smell a foul smell, it's because of the process used to make these. So sometimes they don't smell very nice, and I haven't come up with anything that would clean them and still keep their iridescent, because a lot of times this is just a coating put over top, but it has a very foul smell to it. So it's not usually my favorite, but this didn't smell. And so I will harvest. These are all individual beads with a little glass spacer in between, so I can, or a seed bead, so I can take these apart and use them for dangles or any kind of thing like that. This one, pearls. I don't really need a lot of pearls. I have pearls, but they are a nice, these are manufactured pearls. They're not the real deal. They're just faux. But I loved these flower charms on here. They've got a nice green glass stone, and then lots of little chippy pieces of stone inside, but it's a really nice brass finish to these, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those on there. So in getting this necklace for $1, you know, I paid 20 cents each for these beautiful little charms, and then the beads were kind of a bonus on top of that. Another Swarovski crystals. This is all clear, and there's black, opaque. I would say they're probably, well, they are glass, but they're very I don't know that I would use a lot of black, but the crystals I would certainly use, and very pretty, very shiny. Will pick up lots of um, um, rainbow type. I can't think of the word right now. I'm out of practice, you guys. And then more pearls. This was a pearl bracelet. Huge. Not something that I would wear, definitely, but I would harvest all the beads. This is done on that memory wire, so it's very hard to crack this wire, but once you break it, the beads will come off quite easily. But yeah, just lots of beads to harvest for $1. I just thought it was a nice amount, and I liked this silvery gray color. And then this one was just a really nice compliment because this is a necklace done with 3 different strands, and it's kind of a silvery gray, kind of a gunmetal gray, and then this blue. So I thought that was a really nice compliment to this. So I see something coming there. This one I've had many, many times. It must be one of those that comes through those jewelry store, those accessory stores like Claire's or Odette, I think is the other one. But what's nice about this is there are lots of individual beaded sections that have an eye hook on either end, so you can easily attach this to something else. So you can pull off a section that big, or individually, or an individual black one, and use it as a spacer. So that's why it's one of my favorites to pick up, because there's so much potential of adding other things and quickly making dangles with this. We're going to have a dangle day hopefully soon. This one was a fun piece. These are glass beads. Looks like lamp work because they are uneven. So it might be somebody's handwork, hand-blown glass. I'm not sure. But they are not regular in size and shape. So just, you know that they're more quality bead. There is a little bit of film on here, so somebody must have worn this a lot, because I can feel yeah, I can feel the wear on it, and I can feel their body oils. So something like this, I will take it, because it's glass, I don't have to worry about it. I will take it and wash it in some sudsy dishwater, warm dishwater, and then just let it air dry. And then when it's completely dry, I will take it apart for the beads, because sometimes I can feel people's body oils on these. I do have to go wash my hands after, if it's something that they've worn a lot, or I can smell their perfumes on these things. I really do have a good nose for that. So that's the first thing I do, is I wash them right away. Now there's a couple more here. Okay, there's this necklace. Let's see. Oh, all hooked up here. This necklace is the same as this black one, that all of these beads are individually strung with wire, so you can take them apart at any length, and they are good to go as a dangle. The only thing is you are left with that loop at the bottom, you know, the top, you would use that to attach to something, but the loop at the bottom, I usually like to put a charm or something to finish it off, so that you don't have that loop sitting there and that it looks like something's missing. But this is perfect colors for my living room, so this could very easily become a dangle, because if I take it apart, it is 24, it's 48 inches long, so it's perfect size for my dangles. There are a few multifaceted glass stones. They're not Swarovskis. It's not as deep a cut in them, but they are mixed with pearls, and it's very pretty, and it's in my colors, in my ocean colors, the theme upstairs in my living room. So I may make this one into a dangle as well. The next one was this brooch. It's not old, although it has an older style of clasp. It's kind of interactive because it has a flower that moves. So that's kind of neat with the leaf background. there are a few rhinestones along the center and of the flower, and right in the center of the flower is a rhinestone, but it's not an expensive cut. It's a cheaper brooch, but equally pretty on a project. So I have no problem using that, and it'll go with my brooches. And then the last piece was a belt. So they charged me $2 for this instead of $1. It is very, very heavy, but it has the rings, and in between is this enamel. It's enamel on metal flower with some of them are missing the stones. Like this one's missing the stone in the center, but this one has the stone. They're just glued in. I do have some stones that I can use to replace on this one, but it is enamel. I don't know if you remember that cold enamel was very popular in the 70s for a while, but this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 flowers, and then it has these individual charms, like an oval teardrop charm, and there's 1, 2. Oh, it looks like they're a little bit different color too. So that one is browner and one is more gold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like there's 7. 7 of those. The other thing that it has, which is kind of cool, is it's got this very large lobster claw. So this could be taken apart right here and take the bottom rings off and use just like that as a charm, just this piece here. There are 4 jump rings that connect to this ring and another 4 from the other side. So these are all very large jump rings, which are nice to have sometimes when you want to use for adding multiple items onto something, multiple dangles. So there is a lot of material to be harvested from here. Not only the 4 jump rings that are here on either side, the dangle and the ring in between. So lots of really good material in this belt. And then the one end comes with this globy bead charm at the end that looks like it's going to fall off any second. That can be used as a drop on on something like this one where you have the loop that ends on a project. You can add something like this at the bottom to have a finishing end to your dangle. I hope that makes sense. Another one that could be used is all of these dangles wouldn't dangle nicely on the end of some of these, so it again gives you a nice finishing look to a piece. I mean, this is not necessarily the right colors, but it just to show you that you can add all kinds of things as a dangle or a charm from the end of an eye pin to make it look more finished. So that's the jewelry, and that was over a couple of visits, but most of it I did get in one shot. And there was a lot of jewelry, but I was really being picky as to, I don't like a lot of earrings unless it's something that I can use as a theme. But there was a lot of jewelry on their jewelry table this time around, so I was able to cherry pick what I wanted. And sometimes I have to do that because I end up with a lot of stuff. So that's the jewelry, and then I'm just going to get into some of the papery items. So I got 2 packs of cards. This was at my refit store, and this is just a little package of these, those gold cards. There's a name for them. I know that Mary Ellen from Red Parrot gets them a lot of times. I can't see what the name is on here. These are used, but a nice set. And then I got these cards also. Now these are new, but the package has been opened, so I'm a little bit suspicious that they're all there. Not that it really matters because I use them individually anyway, but it's a nice couple of birds here. So this would make a really nice card in a fall journal just because of the coloring. But yeah, I don't know if they're all here, but it really doesn't matter because once I start using them, they're gone anyway. And a couple of free elastic bands, which I always enjoy. This was fun. I got 2 packs of these. They are sale manufacturer tags. I paid $3.99 for the package. So some of these will go for sale in my store for a very low price. I like to pass the savings on to you as much as I can and recoup some of my costs, of course. And you know, I do have to make something, but not a huge amount of money. But I'm just opening this up, but just a little something so that I can keep doing this. So I'm just going to examine the tag. Lots of elastics for me, which I like. And I reuse all the bags. I use everything. But on the one side of the tag, it says sale. On the other side, it says manufacturer suggested retail, our discount price. So great little tags that you can either build on, use as a base, and put napkins over top or something so you can still see the base underneath. They are more modern, of course. Now, these are rectangular in shape, but they've sort of given you this opportunity to just snip the ends here because they've put the words on a slant, so you can easily turn this into a shipping tag by cutting those ends off, and you have kind of a line to follow. So they're pretty cool tags. If nothing else, they're nice weight of cardstock to build on. I love this big sail on the other side, and I think they'd be fun to add into my projects. So there are a lot of them, so I certainly don't need them all. But I couldn't resist taking them all because I knew that I could pass them on in my shop. So there are 2 whole packages. I would guess that each one must have, 50 to 100. I don't know. So either way, it's 150. So there's at least 300 tags here, if not 600, depending on how many there are per stack. But yeah, I will be packaging some of these up and selling them very inexpensively in my shop. So if you have a chance, take advantage of that. My shop is going to get updated this week because I do have a lot of new things to add to it. So then I bought these. This was $1.99 at Value Village. And so I would have got my discount on it, of course. And sorry that I make you go through this, but I waited for you. I didn't open the package ahead of time this time. I did open something today. Or not today when I bought it. I couldn't wait when I got to the car. It's coming. So this was $1.99 less my discount. There we go. And I like to save the bags. I don't know what exactly these were from, but I see that some of them have some of this goopy blue stuff in here, so they must have been stuck on the wall. But they're dragonflies, and they're plastic, and I just thought that I could probably use some embossing powder on here, like just use my Versamark ink and put that on here, and then do some embossing on here with, multicolors or, or gold or silver or something. And I just thought this would make a really cute embellishment on a journal as it is, decorated up a little bit. So I might have to have a play day with that one day, but there's, I don't know, a couple dozen here. So I figured for $1.99, they were really nice looking charms. You see how it's got that blue gum on the back side of here. So I have to figure out how I can easily take that stuff out, clean it up. But yeah, so I figured they would make really nice charms. You could wrap a wire on here. You could add beads. I could wire beads onto here. So it's something that is, I'm going to consider playing with and see what I come up with for decorating purposes. I think now that I think about it, the beads with the wire would be really sharp on here as well. So lots to play with. So for $1.99, I think I've got my money's worth there, just in my imagination as it is, without actually even doing anything. But I really do have to start doing stuff a lot faster than the way I've been doing it lately. So I'll put that aside. Then I got this package of napkins for $1.99. It's not that I need any more napkins, but I just found it to be a very interesting distress pattern. I'm sorry to put you through me opening these each time, but I like to save the bags. Sometimes I get excited and I do rip them, but I really like to save them. Even if it just gets one more life after it's left me, at least they get used again. So they, it doesn't look like anything's missing here. They're calling these guest towels, and that there's 32. They come from HomeSense for $5.99. So it's not a huge savings, but it's for $2. I thought, yeah, it's worth it to figure out how to open them. There we go. In this case, I'm ripping the bag. But yeah, they are just a nice looking, sort of distressed, it's like spilled coffee and chocolate or something on here. So I don't see anything in the pattern. I mean, if you look long enough, you might find something interesting in there. But I just like that it looks like chocolate and coffee stains and very distressed looking. So this would be fun to put over top of something to create a collage base. And they're a nice size, and you get 6 panels in the napkin. So some of these will end up for sale in my shop. And yeah, I do sell my napkins 2 for $1, right? Yeah, 2 for $1. So that you can get a good collection of them. And yeah, I only paid $2, but sometimes I have to make a little bit of money in order to pay for my expenses. Now this one was very interesting, and so I had to open it ahead of time. So I will spare you on this one. And it is a telephone book. And it's from the Museum of Fine Arts of Boston. And I couldn't see what I was buying, but I knew that there were lots of pages just based on what I could see. And the price of this was $3.99. And at first I thought, that this is ridiculous. Why are you buying this? You can make a fan. Anybody can make a fan. But the images are just beautiful. And the fun part about it is when the images on the inside of the outside is kind of a heavier cardstock weight. But the images on the inside are a little bit lighter. And then on the back side, or maybe not this one, the next one here, they have lines in the letter A for you to write on. So you could journal on these. So I looked at it that I could maybe, like in this case, the lines are on the other side with nothing on it. And on this side, they have the letter A, and they have some writing here telling you about the previous image, I believe. Yeah, woodland scenes. So this could easily be glued together to make one card, or you could collage on the other side, on this side of it, and have a separate journal right here to write on, journaling spot to write on. And then this one as well, you've got the fan itself in this beautiful image, and you can just collage over top of that or leave it, and there's still enough journaling space on the back side to write. I thought these cards would fold in half very nicely to put in the center of a signature. So I was pretty excited when I opened this up. So I'm going to play, and I think I'm going to now, after seeing this, I think I'm going to create something similar based on my inspiration from this, and see if we can't create a fan that you can use in your journals. And I'm sure any of you could make your own, but it was just an idea that came to me, and I thought, oh, I'm going to work on this and see what I can come up with. But every second page has an image, and they're beautiful images. And then it has a blank page that you can use to write on and to collage on. So that in itself will be fun to do. But the images are just beautiful, and it does go A to Z. I think X and Y are together. I'm not sure, but there are about 25 different prints in this. So I thought, well, this was well worth the money to add a couple of these into a journal just by folding them in half with the journaling space on the back. So what fun that is, and all of the inspiration that was triggered by it and the ideas that are coming out of my head for future possibilities of digital printouts. So stay tuned, because this is an awesome piece. Like even these wildflowers are beautiful. And some of them, they gave you extra sheets to write on as well. I guess there's some letters that are more popular. Isn't that gorgeous? I hope you can see all these nicely. Just to show you up close a little bit. And it's a fair size. It's about about 10 inches long. And just beautiful images to use as a fan in a journal. So this comes, oh, look at this one with the swan. It's very pretty. And you don't necessarily have to fold it in half to put in a journal. You could tuck this into a journal pocket or have it flip out somehow. So yeah, I thought it was well worth it. And like I said, the ideas and possibilities for other creations are certainly there. So keep your eye out for this. I don't know if they're still available. It's from the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. The copyright... I don't see anything here. It is an address book. Maybe it's on the back. Here we go. Here's something. No, I don't have anything that has the address on it. So looks like this was this way as the cover. Unless there's something here. No, I don't see. So maybe they're still available. I don't know what kind of price range they would be, but they're certainly a beautiful book, and it comes with lots of ideas. So I will come up with something to do similar to this. So then there was that. So now it's the fabric. I didn't buy much fabric, but it's hard for me to not pick things up. So I got this tablecloth, and it's just a plain sort of a yellowy light flower on the background. And it's got seahorses and seashells in this teal blue with a little bit of gold and darker blue in it. And a little bit of green. Very pretty. So this just said would cut up and make nice flips, or a journal cover, and it's quite a nice size piece, so I think I have lots of possibilities with this. And yeah, the seashells were just very attractive to me, and yeah, automatically was zoned in on it. And there are seahorses. I showed you the one, I think. Yeah, there's a couple of seahorses on here, so just have to keep looking and finding them. But yeah, just something I thought was pretty and simple, so there's lots of possibilities with it. This next one was a true find. It is kind of a soft blue colored background with all of these feathers on it. Very bohemian style to me. I see lots of possibilities with that. But there are at least 2 yards in here, so I'm going to be cutting some fat quarters. And when I cut fat quarters and I put them in my shop, they're always very inexpensive, so that you can make at least 2 journals out of it, or 1 journal with lots of accessories. So this, I'm going to share some of this with you. If you're interested in buying some, it'll be available in my shop soon. And then this fabric here, this one, I don't know what I paid for it, but it's 1 1/4 yards. So I think some of it will show up. It's 2 pieces. Will show up in my shop. It might have been a curtain or something. It looks like it's been hemmed, but it's kind of a brushed linen. I don't even know what it is, but it's a heavier weight, and it's all of these beautiful rose pieces. Yes, so it was a curtain or something at one time or another. So I will open all of this up and also cut this up into some pieces that are available in my shop. And when I put these in my shop, I make them like a fat quarter so that you can get 1 to 2 books out of it. And you know, I make them quite generous sizes. So I don't, you know, if it's an inch over what the exact fat quarter measurements are, I give you that extra quarter of an inch. I'm not going to chop it down to exact. I'm going to do the best cut that I can and give you as much as I can in that cut. So now I'm going to really start adding these pieces in, because I do have so many interesting pieces of material. And I don't know about you, but how many journals can you make the same? I mean, I love stuff like this, but there are so many fabrics out there in the world, and, you know, so many things to take apart. So I will be sharing more and more of this on my website. You will see that soon. But just a beautiful pattern to be able to use for making a personal journal or something very Victorian looking. And there's lots of material here. Again, I don't know what I paid for it, but, you know, knowing myself, I always look at the possibilities and what I'm going to use it for as to how much I'm willing to pay. And I also how much is here. So I pass those savings on wherever I can to people who buy from me. And if you have bought from my shop, you know that I do have some good prices on my stuff. So this next one was kind of funny. I don't know if you remember, I had gone to the local dollar store and I bought this blue velvet and green velvet. Now they were $3.50 for each, and there's about a square yard on here. Let me just double check. I think they, oh yeah, okay, 63 inches by 24 inches, so it's almost 2 yards is that right? 360. Yeah, it's not quite 2 yards. 2 yards in the 63 inches, and then 2 feet the other way. So they're quite substantial pieces. And my plan with these pieces was to make I wanted to start making some leaves with the green velvet, which I will do a tutorial doing that. And then I wanted to do some rolled roses and some gathered roses and stuff. And I just thought, I was drawn to these colors, and it's it's not real velvet, it's a fake velvet, just a polyester, but I just found it so interesting, and the colors were so rich. And then the very next week, right after I found these, I found this most beautiful scarf, and it was just the scarf itself. It's like it's like India sari scarf of some sorts, but it has this rich green velvet, and this is more of a velour. It's not even a real velvet either, but it's a really nice, and it's very complementary to the green, and of course the blue is very complementary. So do you see something else happening here? Because I sure do, and I love the gold trim, and it goes around the whole scarf, and then throughout the center of the scarf it's a sheer netting with these beautiful applique flowers on here that I can cut out individually, as well as all these little tiny flowers throughout the whole piece. It's a fairly large scarf, and lots of these appliques just on one side, but there's got to be at least 10 on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there's lots of material here to work with. So I do see the possibilities of a journal. And again, I do see the possibilities of sharing some of this in a kit. And the reason I say kit is I have some fabrics that I hand-dyed, fabrics and lace. I'm just going to quickly grab the bag to show you. It's not part of my haul, but I'll just show you anyway. I had a package of dye. I'm just going to put this stuff out on the table. All of this was originally white. This scarf I did with, it had this beautiful trim on it, and the scarf is leaves. And so it's in, I just had a bottle of dye to use up. So this was white lace originally, and it turned a really light blue. It's very, very pale blue. If I were to show it against something white, you'd be able to see it more. There you go. Very pale blue. Of course, the lining took to it a little bit better. Am I in camera here? Yeah. And then I had a bigger piece of lace. Now this was all the same dye, and I just started dyeing things, and as the color came out, it got lighter and lighter, and it changed depending on the fabric. So this was the top of a dress, just one sleeve of it, did that. This was some of that iridescent lace. I don't know if you remember this lace or not, but I have a whole roll of it. So I did a bunch of this, and the iridescent came out beautiful. And of course the lace dyed in the blue. I did some fringes, and it turned out a little bit more teal looking, like a teal blue color, sort of a very soft teal. I did some other synthetic lace. And I'm just showing, this was a top. It's a cotton top, and the fabric is very nice. And it already had this blue trim on it, but the white fabric was enhanced very nicely with this light teal. So as I went along, it got lighter and lighter. And then this is just some more blue lace, and more lace that was a darker blue that picked up the blue very nicely. So the reason I'm showing you all, this was a huge piece of curtain that I did. And the reason I'm showing you all of this is I'm going to be making some kits that are done with blue laces and trims. And so I'm not going to show you everything because there's lots here. I'll wait for another day, but I just thought I'd give you a quick idea. And so I may also incorporate some of this into that same kit, or, you know, somehow, some way. But these are the kinds of things that I want to be working on now and creating some kits. I'm also still working on those fabric squares, the little samplers. I know, Ruth, you expressed an interest in them. And so I'm going to slowly be getting that kind of stuff done to add into my shop. But it's time to start moving this stuff because I cannot keep up with all of it. So that's it for my haul. And if you're still with me, thank you. Okay, so coming up, I am now very close to 2,900 subscribers. I'm at 28, or maybe it's 28 something. I'm at 28 something for subscribers, so we're very close to the 3,000. So my next video is going to be to start my campaign for subscribers and to reach that 3,000 mark. I'm hoping to have that done very soon, and we will run it till the end of September and then make the draw from there. So that will be one of the videos coming up. Now that it's going to be September starting tomorrow, that means next Tuesday I will have my Techniques Tuesday video again. Yay! I have lots of things. I made a lot of notes, lots of things to show you, and different techniques that we can add to our book. We're going to be at that point where you're going to have to start putting together another book soon. But lots of fun things to add to that. Here and there, I will still do some segments of Thelma Made Me Do It because I still have 2 bags of stuff to do with that. I have where I'm going to be taking apart a lot of clothing. I'm in the middle of taking apart an orange crochet dress, so I'm going to be showing you that one very soon. That's almost finished. I work on that in segments. Because just because I say I'm taking something apart doesn't mean I do it all in one day. It you know, sometimes it stretches over a few days. So I've got that on the go. And, you know, there will be little tidbits and little how-to videos in between on different things. You know, we've talked about taking apart jewelry, about taking apart clothing, how to repurpose different stuff into our art. So those videos are going to come through here and there. But I really want to get into the creating and finishing stuff. So you will see more videos of that coming up, where it's kind of like watch me work, where I show you what I'm working on, and you know, maybe we work on a few things on it together if you are inclined to do that. But I must have 15, 18 journals here, maybe even more, that have to get finished. I have clients waiting for them. I have possibilities of selling some of them. So I really have to start doing some videos where I show you what I'm working on and just show you my methods or what I'm doing at the time. So there will be more little tidbits of that type of stuff coming up once I get back into the swing of doing this again. So my main focus will still be on Techniques Tuesday and Thrifty Canucks, and then it'll be from there on in, it'll just be adding and putting different things together as I go along. So stay tuned for a whole different fall lineup of stuff while I get things done. So that's it for my Thrifty Canucks video for today. There will be a draw on the next one that I do, which will probably be the stuff that I got from Lori, or when I was with Lori. And who knows, maybe another thrifting date with Lori as well. But now that I'm back into the routine, you will see those Thrifty Canucks videos a little bit more often. Please do check out all of the people below that follow and also participate in Thrifty Canucks as Canadians. And go to their channels, check out what they've picked up. There's always some interesting product and ideas floating around. We are just amazing as creators. So check out their videos as well. And if you are a Canadian and you are thrifting and you do have a YouTube channel and you want to get on the bandwagon with us, by all means, contact me or leave me a comment below, and I will be certain to add you to the list of Thrifty Canucks so that other people can find your channel and see the things that you find as well. I wish you all a very creative day, and it is Thursday going into the weekend. Oh, let's have some creative fun on the weekend. So I wish you all a creative weekend, and I look forward to seeing all of you soon. Bye for now.